My mind is floating around when you mentioned True
Yeah.
West. Obviously, Phil
Yeah.
Hoffman always comes up. I saw Phil and John C. Riley when they
Yeah.
were
Me too.
going
Yeah.
back and forth.
Incredible.
Unbelievable. It's one of those.
Incredible. Yeah.
So Phil obviously always comes up in conversations.
Yeah.
You bring him up all the time. You brought him up in the Oscar speech. Yeah, you never. I mean, he directed you, but you never got a chance to act with Phil, did you? Or am I missing something?
No, I had two opportunities, maybe three, and they were squandered, and I regret that. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's a couple like Nick Nolte. I could have worked with Nick Nolte, could have worked with
Nolte's.
Kurt Russell. Really, that kicking myself, Richard Jenkins. Um,
They're still out there. You got 'em. You
they're
got.
still out there. There's
Yeah.
time. But yeah, Phil, yeah, we were very close. We were good friends, and he directed me. And we had yeah, he was one of the guys.
What
He was
were
the
what
guy.
he was the guy for a
Yeah,
generation. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, and I feel like I underestimated him at the beginning because to me he was like scent of a woman like baddie. I didn't realize what I was dealing with
Yeah.
until he kind of accumulated the body of
Oh
work and you
yeah.
realize he could just do anything.
Sure,
Well,
sure.
I don't know if there's an easy way to kind of encapsulate this, but why did you put him on a pedestal? What made him such a singular talent for you?
I think Chris Walken said it after he passed away, said that he was our Charles Lawton. He could have been our generation's Charles Lawton, and there was so much work ahead of him. And he was a young guy, and he was special that he had the emotional power of a George C. Scott or John Malkovich kind of emotional ferocity.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff that Laurie Metcalf does, or Gary Oldman or John Malkovich. Like he had that emotional power,
Yeah.
is what my teacher used to call it, emotional power. And then he also was transformational, and he could transform, and he was you know, I mean, he could be a baseball coach. He could be Truman Capote. Like
Yeah. Also could be
that's when
so
you really,
vulnerable, like, right? Like Magnolia, happiness, like
yeah. No,
these open
exactly.
wounds.
I
Like,
mean, happiness, incredible. Yeah, I mean, the humiliation and happiness that he goes through. Like,
that's a
and
brave.
Boogie Nights, like
Yeah, yeah,
blew our socks off.
yeah,
That's really the big. When you see a Robert Duvall, a Morgan Freeman who plays the president of the United States, and he plays Fast Black
yeah,
in Street Smart. Um, you know, Cheadle and Devil in a Blue Dress or whatever, what have you, and Phil, same thing, man.
yeah,
Robert Duvall, Meryl Streep, this kind of transformational, chameleon like skills they have is
yeah,
really it's the merit it's the true merit of an actor, I think, when you can pound for pound. Brando is, he's had it all, but it's like, can you transform? Do you have this emotional power? And
yeah.
um yeah.